I just had earlier this evening about a 2 hour conversation with um, Pleiadians from Alcyon, or Halcyon. They were very adamant they're not regular Pleiadians, but Pleiadians from Halcyon, and a Lyran who was speaking in Lyran. And I was responding in Lyran without knowing what I was saying. It's just, I under, I, I got the sounds and I made the sounds in response. Um, and I could speak it with the thought, but when I was just automatically responding, I don't even know what I was saying. Anyway, incredible experience, and I asked at the end if they had any messages for humanity. And by the way, I connected with them through a patient who's a new starseed channeler, a young soul, they told me, and it's only her second life on Earth, and she had a regular job, doesn't know anything about the spirituality, alien stuff. She just in 2019, when shit hit the fan for the world, she quit her job and she asked the universe. She told the universe, "I want to help. How can I help?" And then she was gifted this ability to channel, and she had many past lives in as Pleiadian, so it's Pleiadians in her, and they were very pleased that I was working on her because I have experience on Earth as well as a lot of cycles as Lyran, and I also assisted in the Lyran Pleiades energy exchange is what they called it. So I was in one of my life cycles, I was a Lyran living in the Pleiadian system, or living with Pleiadians. Um, so I got a lot of information, and they told me to go back into meditation after my workday, and I just finished my last client. It was kind of hard to focus on him while I was still like digesting all this stuff that all these questions I was getting answered. Anyway, the message for humanity when I asked them is, they said humans get so much attention from all these other races of aliens, or they're so interested in watching us because we don't even know why we're here or what our purpose is, yet we still do it. And it's to create these love bubbles, is what they said. And that's the fuel that God uses to create new life. So it's and I intuitively knew that as a teenager. When asked what's the purpose of life, I got the message to just be happy, to be full of joy. And I've heard some rabbis talk about that too, just fill your vessel with joy. But it's the first time I heard the reason why. This energy is so important, just creating these love bubbles, because this is the fuel that God uses to make life and do his creative work. So it's super important to stay in that energy. I found out the purpose of Lyrans, why we're here. I always thought it was just to raise the energy, right? But no, there's a specific purpose. It isn't just like, apparently Lyrans live here in the thyroid. That's another thing. We're good with forming sounds and making sounds. But our purpose is to create, what's the word that they used? I translated it as synchronicities. Coincidence is what they called. We create coincidences. So it's a type of manifestation work, but not directly necessarily. So say if I wanted this man to find a wife, and then I say, hey, let's go to the museum because I spontaneously feel drawn there. He's probably not going to meet his wife at the museum, but it's going to create a coincidence where it's like a domino effect, where he'll bump into someone else, which will lead to something else, which will lead to him meeting his wife. And she said, I need to not just do that for other people, but also for myself. And this is just why we're here. So it's really important to go with that gut instinct wherever it's pulling you. And in my personal life experience, yeah, a lot of magic happens like that, when you just feel drawn to like just start walking somewhere or go there, like follow that energy, and it's going to lead to creating some coincidences. Something else I asked was about the green aliens that look like praying mantises. Because I saw one of those recently in someone's field that had trouble with his eyes. He was in perfect health, but just his eyes were like the worst. Like the lenses over the eye was like degrading, astigmatism, from some past life trauma stuff, not even from this life. And one of the first things I saw in his field was this green alien face that looked a lot like a praying mantis. And it was the first time I'd seen one of those. I've heard of other people seeing them in their face at healing events, but it's the first time I saw one for myself. And when I researched them, I didn't get much info. And like all that's on the internet is that apparently they're draconian, which didn't really ring that true to me. And so I asked them if that was like his starseed origin or what, and they said no. These praying mantis, the green ones, they just really like to observe human physical issues because they don't have them, so they like to learn everything they can about these malfunctions in the human body, and they just observe, and that's why they're like stuck in the field. And then she started talking about, but the golden praying mantises, they apparently know more about like the whole energetics of love and how that works, and they're more advanced. So I told that person to call on the golden praying mantises. Maybe they could help him a bit. So if you're dealing, if you know you have one of those in your field, maybe check out the golden praying mantises. Maybe they would have some insight. But what I found as I worked on them, on her, my task was to create more space in her body for the energy to come in, so that it would be comfortable for her. Because once the energy gets too charged up, if the energetics aren't flowing properly in your body, you kind of get fried, or your legs won't work properly and things like that. So I'm there working on her while trying to listen to all their messages, and like trying to also calm them down at certain points, because I needed her body to rest to be able to move the energy. I realized like I have the room full of helpers and these blue avians also, but they're kind of like my assistants, and they have all like the advanced alien tech, right, to heal bodies. But I realized they can't see what I could see, in terms of what needs to be first cleared from the body and removed, because they're vibrating at such a high frequency, like so high. As soon as she walked in, it's like I started eating food, like as if I just finished this big channeling meditation. It's just like fuel, like you needed fuel to deal with the energy coming in. It was so high frequency. I just like forgot what I was saying. So super high frequency. Oh my god. So yeah, they left me a spiral. So they knew I had another client after, and they said go back into meditation after work and go into the spiral to find out, to remember more is what they wanted. And I recorded a bunch of it. I'm really bad at video editing. Anyway, I just wanted to share this while it's kind of fresh in my head. It's pretty cool and fascinating. And so keep up with the high vibes, follow your instinct, especially if you're a Lyran. How should I say it? Oh, it's got what you got. How don't you go? Who see Nyaya watcha? Kitchen, yeah. I think, I